as I've said to people, I've never heard a sound like that. You hear fireworkers, you hear cannons. I've never heard this kind of sound, and it was immediately frightening, scary, and everything stopped. Just everyone stopped and looked. And I mean, you got barriers on both sides of the course after the finish. People can't come onto the course, and for 10 seconds, everything stood still. Then when the second went off, and after the first one goes off, there's all this billowing of smoke near the staging area where the officials are. And I happen to know a couple of officials there, and I thought for a moment that this one guy I knew, Dave Megerle, would have been literally killed, instantly blown up. But it was a few feet down in front of the Marathon Sports when it actually went. And then when the second one went off, then those barriers that people were standing against literally collapsed, and people were running panic, pure chaos. I've never seen anything like it. And we're just pushing people out of the way. We're telling people to move. One in our camp, right away, they just moved all the water bottle tables out. They simply pushed them aside, and coming down Boylston Street, going towards the Himes, were police cars, ambulances, stretchers, emergency people, medical people, just going to these sites where they're going to find mutilation beyond anything they've seen before. And I saw a couple of our runners, and I was pretty much shielding them from seeing the injured victims coming by on gurneys and wheelchairs, because there were some very, very difficult things to see. I mean, no arms, no legs, bones sticking out of the knees, and blood, just unbelievable blood. And I was there. I don't know how long I stood in that area, but they tried to move us away, and we just felt we're just getting out of the way of everything that was going on. And since they stopped the marathon, I just wondered what happened to the runners that didn't finish. And I knew about half our team had finished, 53 to be exact. And so they said that they would be coming down Newberry Street. So parents and myself, we all went over to Newberry, and we're standing at the corner, and there's no runners. And I'm thinking, what could have happened to these? And there are a lot of other runners, not only our runners, but several thousand, but it's almost 6,000. So we saw a few of them, and we tried to comfort the parents. And then people were finding families and friends at little pockets around the area, down Berkeley Street, on Newberry Street, on Stewart Street, St. James Street, and people were drifting over to the T. And I probably received from 2:49 until that night up to midnight, probably over 1,000 texts, emails, phone calls that I still haven't looked at. I've looked at it some, and they were just over the top. And they just want to know if you're okay. I mean, I wasn't hurt, no blood. I'm fine. And these poor kids that were killed, and over 200. I mean, nearly permanently damaged physically. Tough stuff. And it was probably around 8:30 when it was getting dark, and I thought I'm not gonna. There's no one else on the course. So I called the president, President Monaco, and I told him, I said, I'm going to come home. I want to get home, and they were going to have this vigil, like a vigil little ceremony at Goddard Chapel. And then so I went to the vigil in Goddard, and the only two runners who were there were Ezra Dunkel and Isabella Slavy. And I sat next to Dean Reitman, way in the back row, and the place was a lot of people, a lot of kids. No one, hardly anyone. There were only 3 or 4 of us that were at the marathon. The rest were just students that heard about it, saw it on TV, and wanted to come and voice their concern, and how upset they were that this area of Boylston and the Boston Marathon would be violated by these terrorists. And I was very impressed. I really was. And then when Isabella spoke, it was very, very moving, because she talked about finishing and falling into Coach's arms and comforting her. That was tough. And aside from all of that, the best part for us and for any runner that wasn't able to finish is that the BA, in its infinite wisdom, welcomed those same runners that didn't finish back the following year, last year, to get a chance to run it again, complete the distance, and they did. I tell the kids all the time, I said, all I'm doing is handing out water. That's all I do. I mean, I meet them, I talk to them, I hand out water, and I'm their friend, and I do the best I can with them. But they're the ones they're the real heroes in this whole thing.